네, 안녕하십니까. 영어 쉐도잉 연습 151자, 151자 시작을 해보겠습니다. 네, 첫 번째 연습 영상은 오바마 대통령 연설 영상 보고 들으면서 따라해 보도록 하겠습니다. But at the end of the day, circumstances of your life, what you look like, where you come from, how much money you have, what is going on at home, none of them is an excuse. There is no excuse for not trying. I've given a lot of speeches about education. I've talked about responsibility a lot. I've talked about teachers' responsibility for inspiring students, pushing you to learn. I've talked about your parents' responsibility for making sure you're staying on track, your homework done. You get your homework done. Don't spend for staying for well and you get your homework done. For making sure you stay on track and you get your homework done. And you get your homework done. For making sure you stay on track and you get your homework done. Don't spend every waking hour in front of TV or with the Xbox. I've talked a lot about for government's responsibility for setting high standards, supporting teachers and principals. I'm turning around and working, where students are getting the opportunities they deserve. Opportunities that 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 they deserve. Where students are getting the opportunities they deserve. But at the end of the day, we can have the most dedicated teachers. We can have the most dedicated teachers, but at the end of the day, we can have the most dedicated teachers, most supportive parents, best schools in the world, and none of it will make a difference. None of it will matter unless all of you fulfill your responsibility, unless you show up to those schools, unless you pay attention to those teachers, unless you listen to your parents and grandparents and others, and put in the hard work it takes to succeed. That's what I want to focus on today. The responsibility each of you has for your education. I want to start with the responsibility you have to yourself. Every single one of you has something that you regret. Every single one of you has something to offer. You have a responsibility to yourself to discover what that is. That's the opportunity an education can provide. Maybe it could be a great writer. Maybe even good enough to write a book or articles in newspaper, but you might not know it. But maybe you could be an innovator, an inventor, maybe even good enough to come up with the next iPhone or a new medicine or vaccine. But you might not know it until you do a project for your science class. Maybe it could be a great mayor, a senator, a Supreme Court justice. You might not know that until you join student government or the debate team. No matter what you want to do in your life, I guarantee that will need an education that you'll need an education to do it. You want to be a doctor or police officer. You want to be a nurse or architect, or a lawyer, and military member of the military. You're gonna need a good education for every single one of those careers. You cannot drop out of school and just drop into a good job. You cannot drop out of school and just drop into a good job. You got to train for it, work for it, and learn for it. This isn't just important for your own life and your own future. What you make of your education will decide nothing less than the future of this country, The future of America depends on you. What you are learning in school today will determine whether we as a nation can meet our greatest challenges in this future. Greatest challenges in the future. You'll need a knowledge and problem solving skills. You'll learn in science and math to cure diseases like cancer and AIDS. You develop to develop and to develop to and to be, and to develop new energy technologies and protect our environment. You need insights and critical thinking skills you gain in history and social studies to fight forward in homelessness and crime and discrimination and make our nation more fair and more free. You need a creativity and ingenuity to develop your art classes to you develop art to build your companies that will create new jobs and boost our economy. We need every single one of you to develop your talents and your skills and your intellect so you can help us folks solve our most different problems. If you don't do that, if you quit on school, you're not just quitting on yourself, you're quitting on your country. You're quitting on your country. I know, oh, I know, I know it's always easy to do well in school. I know a lot of you have in I know a lot of you have the challenges in your lives. Challenges in your lives right now. I know a lot of you have the challenges. A lot of you have the challenges in your lives right now. They can make it hard to focus on your schoolwork. I get it. I know. I know. A lot of you have challenges in your life right now that they make it. They can. I know a lot of you have challenges in your lives right now. They can make it hard to focus on schoolwork. I know. I get it. I know what it's like. My father and my family when I was 2 years old, and I was raised by a single mom and single mom who had to work and who struggled at times who, who struggled at times to pay the bills and and wasn't always able to give us the things that got the things that other kids had. There were times when I missed having a father in my life. There were times when I was learning and I felt like I didn't fit it. So I wasn't always focused as I should have been at school. I did I did something I'm not proud of. I got in more trouble than I should have. In my life would have easily taken the terms of the worst. But I was lucky. I got a lot of second chances. I had opportunities to go to college, law school, and follow my dreams. My wife, First Lady Michelle Obama, she had a similar story. Neither of her parents had gone to college, and they didn't have a lot of money. They worked hard and she worked hard. She could go to the best schools in this world. Some of you might not have those advantages. Maybe you don't have a Dutch in your life who give you the support that you need. Maybe someone in your family has lost their job, and there's not enough money to go around. And you live in a neighborhood where you don't feel safe, or have friends who are pressuring you to do things you know are right. And at the end of the day, circumstances of your life, what you look like, where you come from, how much money you have, what is going on at home, none of that is an excuse for neglecting your homework and having a bad attitude in school. That's no excuse for taking pain to your teacher and calling class and dropping out of school. There is no excuse for not trying. You are right now doesn't have to determine your end up. No one's written your destiny for you. Because here in America, you write your own destiny. You make your own future. That's what young people are doing every day. That's what young people like you are doing every day. That's what young people are. That's what young people like you are. What young people like you are doing every day, or across America. Young people like Jasmine Perez from Loma, Texas. Jasmine didn't speak English when she first started school. Neither of her parents had gone to college. She worked hard undergrad grade and got a scholarship to Brown University as now in graduating now in graduate school studying public health on her way to on her way to becoming Dr. Jasmine Perez. I'm thinking about Andoni Schultz from Los Altos, California, who's fought brain cancer since he was 3. He's had to endure all sorts of treatments and surgeries. One of it affected his memory, so it took him much longer. 100 extra hours to the so it took him much longer, 100 extra hours to this schoolwork. But he never fell behind. He's headed to college this fall. And then there's Shanta Steve from my hometown of Chicago, Illinois. Even when bouncing from foster home to foster home, in the toughest neighborhood in the city, she managed to get a job at a local healthcare center, start a program, keep young people out of gangs. And she's on track to graduate high school with honors and go on to college. And Jasmine, and Donnie, Chantel aren't any different from any of you. They face challenges in their lives just like you do. In some cases, they got it worse off than many of you. They refuse to give up. They chose to take responsibility for their lives, for their education, and set goals for themselves. I expect all of you to do the same. That's why today I'm calling on each of you to set your own goals for your dedication, and do every day you can to meet them, and do everything you can to meet them. Whatever your job to do, I want you to commit to it. I want you to real work at it. I know. I know that sometimes you get the sense from the TV that you can be rich or successful without hard work. Your ticket is your ticket to success is through rapping, basketball, being a real TV star. Chances are you're not gonna be any of those things. The truth is, being successful is hard. You want to love every subject that you study. You want to click with every teacher that you have. Not every homework assignment will seem completely relevant to your life right at this minute. You want and you want really- and you won't necessarily succeed at everything the first time you try. That's okay. Some of the most successful people in the world are ones who had most fearless. Jessica Rowling wrote Harry Potter. Her first Harry Potter book was rejected 12 times before it was finally published. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. He lost hundreds of games and missed thousands of shots during his career. But he once said, "I have failed over and again in my life. That's why I succeed." These people succeed because they understood that you can't let your failures define you. You have to let your failures teach you, and have to let them show you what to do differently next time. What to do differently next time. If you get into trouble, it doesn't mean you're a troublemaker. It means you need to try harder. It means you need to try harder to act right. If you get a bad grade, it doesn't mean you're stupid. It just mean you're. It just mean you need more time. It just means need to spend more time studying. No one's being good at all things. You become good at things through hard work. Not a burst, you're not a varsity athlete. The first time you play a new sport, you don't hit every note the first time you sing a song. You got to practice. The same principle applies to school. You might have to do a math problem a few times before you get it right. You might have to read something a few times before you understand it. You definitely have to do a few drafts of papers before it's good enough to handle. Don't be afraid to ask for questions. Don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. But I do that every day. Asking for help isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. because it shows have to admit it shows it shows you have courage to admit when you don't know something, and that allows you to learn something new. Find others that find others that find others that find others that you trust, a parent, a grandparent, a teacher, a coach, or a counselor, and ask them help you stay on track to meet your goals. Even when you're struggling, even when you're discouraged, you feel like other people have given up on you. Don't ever give up on yourself. Because when you give up on yourself, you're giving up on your country. The story of America is about people who quit when things got tough. It's about people who kept going, who tried harder, who love their country too much, to the ev- to the anything less, to the anything less than their best. It's about it's sort of about it's sort of it's a story of students who sat were listed 250 years ago and went on to wage a revolution and founded this nation. Young people, students who sat were listed 75 years ago, overcame depression and won a world war, fought for civil rights, and put on the man in the moon. Students who sat were listed 20 years ago, founded Google and Facebook, and the way changed the way we communicate with each other. So I want to ask all of you. So today I want to ask all of you, what's your contribution gonna be? What problems were you gonna solve? What discoveries will you make? I expect all of you to get serious this year. I expect I expect you to put your best effort in everything you do. I expect a great thing from each of you. Don't let us down. Don't let your family down. Don't let your don't let us family down or your country down. Best of all, don't let yourself down. Make us all proud. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much, everybody. God bless you. God bless America. 네, 첫 번째 영상 잘 연습했습니다. 네, 오늘은 조금 잘 안 들렸던 부분까지도 조금 당겨서 연습을 했습니다. 그래서 시간이 조금 더 걸렸고요. 두 번째 영상은 이제 자막 안 보고 자막 보면서 해보겠습니다. 두 번째 영상은 How to have a good conversation이라는 TEDx 영상이고요. 해보겠습니다. Alright, I want to see a show of hands. How many of you have unfriended someone on Facebook because they say something offensive about politics, or religion, childcare, food? And how many of you know at least one person that you avoid because you just don't want to talk to them? You know, in your spirit, in your spirit, in your spirit, in order to, in order to, in your spirit, in order to have, in order to have, in order to, in order to have, in your spirit, in order to have polite conversation, we just had to follow the advice of holidays. In my fair lady, stick to weather in your house. But these days, with climate change and the vaccines, so those subjects are not safe either. So this world that we live in, this world in which every conversation has the potential to develop into an argument where our parties can speak to one another, and where even the most trivial of issues have someone fighting both passionately for it and against it, it's not normal. Pew Research did a study of 10,000 American vets, and they found that at this moment we're more polarized, more divided than we ever been in history. We're less likely to compromise, which means we're not listening to each other, and we make decisions about where to live, where to marry, and even how our friends are gonna be, based on what we're allowed to believe. Again, that means we're not listening to each other. The conversation requires a balance between talking and listening, and somewhere along the way we lost that balance. Now, part of that is due to technology. Smartphones that you are allowed to have in your hands are close enough that you could grab them really quickly. According to Pew Research, about a third of American teenagers send more than 100 texts a day, and many of them, or most of them, are more likely to text their friends than they are to talk to them face to face. This is there's this there's this there's this great there's this great piece in the outlining in the outlining. There's this great piece in the outlining. It was written by a high school teacher named Paul Obama, and he gave and he gave, and he gave his and he gave his kids a communication project. He wanted to teach them he wanted to teach them how to speak on a specific subject without using notes. And he said this: I came to realize that conversation and confidence might be the single most overlooked skill we fail to teach. Kids spend hours each day engaging with ideas and each other through screens, but rarely do they have an opportunity to hone their interpersonal communication skills. It might sound like a fun question, but we have to ask questions. Is there any 21st century skill more important than being able to sustain current confident conversation? Now, I make my living talking to people. Nobel Prize winners, truck drivers, billionaires, kindergarten teachers, heads of states, plumbers. I talk to people that I like, I talk to people that I don't like. I talk to some people that I disagree with deeply on a personal level, but I still have a great conversation with them. So I like to spend the next 10 minutes or so teaching how to talk and how to listen. And many of you have already heard a lot of advice on this. Things like read the person in the eye, think of interesting topics to discuss in advance, look up, nod, and smile to show that you're paying attention. Repeat back what you just heard or summarize it. So I want you to forget all of that. It's crap. There is no reason to read how to show you're paying attention if you are in fact paying attention. Now, I usually use the exact same skills as a professional interviewer that I do in regular life. So, I'm gonna teach you how to interview people, and that's actually gonna help you learn how to be better conversationalist. Learn to have a conversation without wasting your time, without getting involved, and please God, without offending anybody. We all have real conversations. We had them before. We know what it's like. The kind of work conversation where you work away feeling engaged and inspired, or where you feel like you made a real connection or you've been correctly understood. There is no reason why most of your interactions can't be like that. So I have 10 basic rules. I'm gonna walk you through all of them. But honestly, if you just choose one of them and master it, you'll already enjoy better conversations. Number one, don't multitask. And I don't mean just set down your cell phone or your tablet or your car keys or whatever is in your hand. I mean, be present. Be in that moment. Don't be thinking about your argument you had with your boss. Don't think about what you're gonna have for dinner. If you want to get out the conversation, get out the conversation. Don't be half in it and half out of it. Number two, don't pontificate. If you want to spread your opinion without adding opportunities for response or argument or pushback or growth, write a blog. Now, there's a really good reason why I don't allow pundits on my show, because they're really boring. If they're contrary, they're gonna hate environment and food stamps and abortion. If they're liberal, they're gonna hate big banks and oil corporations and Dick Cheney. Totally predictable. And you don't want it like that. You need to enter every conversation assuming that you have something to run. The famous term as the M. Scott Peck said, that true wisdom requires a setting aside of oneself. And sometimes that means setting aside your personal opinion. He said that sensing this acceptance, the speaker will become less and less vulnerable and more likely to open up the inner recesses to his or her mind to the listener. Again, assume that you have something to learn. Bill Nye, everyone you ever meet knows something that you don't. I put it this way, everybody is an expert in something. Number three, Use open-ended questions. In this case, take a cue from journalists. Start your questions with who, what, when, where, why, or how. If you put in a complicated question, you're gonna get a simple answer out. If I ask you, were you terrified? You're gonna respond to the most powerful word in the sentence, which is terrified, and the answer is yes, I was or nervous. Were you angry? Yes, I was very angry. Less than describe it. Tell the ones that know. But try asking them things like, what's it like? How did that feel? Because then they might have to stop for a moment and think about it, and you're gonna get a much more interesting response. Number four, go with the flow. That means thoughts will come into your mind, and you need to let them go out of your mind. We've heard interviews often in which the guest is talking for several minutes, and then the host comes back in and asks the questions, which is something like it comes out of nowhere. It's already been answered. That means the host probably stopped listening before 2 minutes ago because he thought of this real clever question. He was just bound and determined to say that. And we do the exact same thing. We're sitting here having a conversation with someone, and then we remember that time that we met Hugh Jackman in a coffee shop, and we stopped listening. We're just waiting for a moment to interject our story about Hugh Jackman and coffee. Stories and ideas are going to come to you. You need to let them come and let them go. Number five, if you don't know, say that you don't know. Now, people on the radio, especially on PR, are much more aware that they are going on the record. So they're more careful whether they, whether they claim to be expertise and what they claim to be for sure. To that, err on the side of caution. Talk should not be cheap. Number six, don't equate your experience with theirs. If they're talking about having a loss of family member, don't start talking about the time you lost a family member. If you're talking about trouble they're having, don't tell them about how much you hate your job. It's not the same. It is never the same. All experiences are individual, and more importantly, it is not about you. You don't need to take the moment to prove how amazing you are or how much you've suffered. Somebody asked, somebody asked Stephen Hawking once when he was, I have known people who brag about their losers. Conversations are not a promotion opportunity. Number seven, try not to repeat yourself. It's condescending. It's really boring. And we tend to do it a lot, especially work conversations. Or conversations with other kids, we have a more point to make. So we just keep rephrasing it over and over. Don't do that. Number eight, stay out of the list. Frankly, people don't care about the years, the names, the dates, all those details that you're struggling to come up with in your mind. They don't care. What they care about is you. They care about what you like, what you have in common. So forget the details. Leave them out. Number nine. This is not the last one, but it's the most one. Listen. I can't tell you how many really important people have said listening is the number one most important skill that you could develop. But I said, and I'm paraphrasing. If your mouth is open, you're not lying. And Calvin Harris said, no man ever listened his way out of a job. Why do we not listen to each other? Number one, we don't let it talk. When I'm talking, I'm in control. I don't have to know anything I'm not interested in. I'm the center of intention. I can burst my own identity. But there's another reason. We get distracted. The average person talks at about 225 minutes, but we can listen at up to 500 words per minute. So our minds are filling in those about other 275 hours. And look, I know it takes effort and energy to actually pay attention to someone. But if you can't do that, you're not in a conversation. You're just two people shouting out very real sentences in the same place. You have to. You have to listen to one another. Stephen Covey said it very beautifully. He said, most of us don't listen with the intent to understand. Listen with the intent to reply. One more word, and number 10, and it's this one. Be brief. A good conversation is like a miniskirt, short enough to retain interest, but long enough to cover the subject. All of this boils down to the same basic concept, and it is this one. Be interested in other people. You know, I grew up with a very famous grandfather. You know, there's kind of ritual in my home. People would come over to talk to my grandparents. And after they would leave, my mother would come over to us and she says, "Do you know who that was? She was the one of to Mesoamerica. She was the mayor of Sacramento. She won a first prize. She's a Russian ballet dancer." And I kind of grew up assuming everyone has some amazing, hidden amazing thing about them. And honestly, I think it's what makes me a better host. I keep my mouth shut as often as I possibly can. I keep my mind open, and I'm always prepared to be amazed. And I'm never disappointed. You do the same thing. Go out, talk to people, listen to people, and most importantly, be prepared to be amazed. Thanks. 네, 뒷부분 네, 빠르게 해보면서 오늘 한 30분 정도 연습을 했습니다. 네, 오늘 여기까지 하겠습니다. 감사합니다.